Okay, I'm here from the Piedmont Peeps. I'm going to do a review of the Harry's blade versus the Gillette. I've been using it for about a year now, so I have a pretty good amount of experience. My background's in engineering, I've been in operations, and now I'm in product marketing, so I feel like I have a pretty good beat on that. With that said, let's jump into one of the first marketing claims, which is that the Harry's is made at a high-tech plant in Germany, and that somehow it's supposed to give the consumer a better shaving experience. So a couple differences I noticed from the manufacturing standpoint is these blades on the Harry's are a little bit thicker from the tip to the back of the blade, so that width of the blade is longer by quite a bit than the Gillette. When I look in there, the Harry's is a little more loosely packed. The Gillette is more tightly packed in there. So while I'm sure the German plant is plenty sophisticated, I don't see anything that they're doing that's technologically superior or demonstrates that they're doing something that's more advanced. If anything, the Bic or the Gillette here looks like it's packed in a little tighter. To me, that might be a little bit more sophisticated assembly process. Based on that wider gap, one of the first things I wanted to point out is the gap between the bottom of this glide pad, this white glide pad, and the first cutting edge of the razor is pretty more pronounced than it is on the Gillette. The Gillette, the gap between this now greenish pad and the first razor is much more narrow, and that's good for tight spots. So I've kept this razor out by my mirror. I shave with this one at the Harry's in the shower. I keep this out by my mirror to kind of do touch-ups underneath the bridge of my nose, or if I shave my head, which I do sometimes. There's some little uneven spots that the Gillette does a little bit better job of getting down into. Likewise, at the bottom, you can see the Harry's has much more gap. You can actually see right through it here. You don't have that gap on the Gillette. It's packed in pretty tight, just like it is on the top. This has cut me once with a brand new blade. I got cut right between that blade or the glider here and the bottom razor. I was going a little bit fast. Like I said, in 1 year it's only happened one time, but it was a pretty good cut too. So I think those are two big differences. How they wear out goes to kind of where Harry's saving money. It's cheaper. If you look at this design, there's a lot less to it. It has very little backing, and it actually uses the material as a spring back. So this spring back is what's keeping the blade taut against your face, and it's just bending of this material. So the material naturally wants to bounce back, and that's what keeps pressure against your face. Conversely, the Bic has this little plunger, and the plunger probably has a spring on the bottom of it, and that keeps it nice and taut back against your face. A little bit better design, in my opinion. I sometimes have to throw these away. The main reason I throw away the Harry's is because this bounce back gets too loose. I end up having to kind of hold it up tight against it. So other than the tight spots, I haven't noticed a big change in shave quality. I do notice a couple things. One, I throw this one away because this tends to wear. But this pad here, this white pad, just doesn't break down at all, which is a little bit more comfortable even when it does start to wear down. Whereas Gillette puts this goop on theirs that's supposed to give you a better glide. It wears out pretty fast. This pad is thin and narrow. It gets kind of broken down, and then this thing doesn't slide well, and it makes for an uncomfortable shave. And that's typically why I throw these out. I keep both of these fairly clean. Different ways to keep them clean. The Gillette has this vibration button here, and when I rinse off, the hairs just flow right out of it. So if I run this underwater while it's vibrating like it is now, those hairs just rush right out. The blade stays clean. Some people dunk their blades to store them. I found if you just get it clean and don't have many third-party particles in there, that blade's probably not going to corrode too much on you. Conversely, the Harry's, again, kind of, I think just because of the openness of this design, I I've not really had that issue. These blades, the hairs just naturally kind of wash out. So while I like the vibration a little bit better, the Harry's isn't bad in that regard because it is so open here that water just kind of washes those blades away. In terms of how long they last, the Harry's with this spring back, I may get 2 to 3 weeks, whereas the Gillette might get me 3 to 4. So I'm still, with the cost of Harry's, saving money because the blades are so much cheaper to replace. And I do like the fact that when I do replace it, I'm starting with a new razor. You know, you get a really good shave that first week, and that starts to deteriorate after that. Similar with the Gillette, but you know, I keep it for another week, so it's kind of twofold. This one's lasting longer, cheaper to replace. I replace it more often that first week right out of the box. It tends to give me a little bit better shave. Last thing people talk about is the handle. To me, I like the look of the Harry's a little bit better. It's cleaner. Not that it matters too much because you don't really show off your razors very often. But this one's plenty grippy. It's got these little grip nods. The only thing I've noticed that's a negative about this is every once in a while, if I'm going through unique areas, I might be pushing here and I have popped that off while I'm shaving, which is a little bit scary because I'm always afraid I'm going to cut myself with it, and then you know it hits the ground and I'm always worried that maybe I bent one of the razors, so sometimes I'll just throw it away if I pop that blade out. Harry's, this is really grippy. It may look shiny-ish in some of these videos, but really no matter where you grip this, it's going to hold real well. I like this design a little bit better, and there's nowhere for me to catch that the giveaway and push this blade off. You see that's actually solid. If you want to push it off, you're pushing off here, so it just doesn't accidentally happen. So I guess after 1 year, my personal takeaway is I'm enjoying the cost savings of the Harry's. The difference between them isn't great enough, but I would, if you want to make the transition, I recommend holding on to your Gillette and a couple razor packs to just do that touch-up shaving as you go. But the money you're saving here and the ease of the mail order, to me, are outweighing what I get with the Gillette. So I hope you enjoyed the review, and check back later.
Peace out, peeps.